Stick the spacer on, and I go, wait, what's that? Snapped right off. Yeah, I'm gonna cry for like 10-15 minutes, and when I'm done crying, and I compose myself, we're gonna put the transmission on. This thing fits like a glove. We're gonna have to do a little bit of cutting on the hood to get the hood to shut, but other than that, it's ready to go. Let's send it to SEMA. Oh, crap. Yes! Oh, that makes me happy. What's up, it's Casey from Caseyscustoms. I am putting a K24 Honda in a Toyota AE86, and let me tell you, it does not go in easily. We had to make a ton of custom parts, and we broke a lot of really expensive things along the way. Let's get to the footage. We are back on the beautiful Toyota AE86. I bought this thing like 2 months ago, ordered a bunch of parts, and have been waiting on them ever since. Finally, a bunch of them showed up. But let me tell you the story if you haven't seen this build. I've wanted one of these for a while. I found the cheapest one on the planet for $2,200. I jumped on it. The owner said it was running and driving. He sent me videos of it doing burnouts. He said, it does have a little bit of a gasket leak. The oil pan gasket has a little bit of a leak. I said, oh, okay, no problem. I bought it, sight unseen. It got to the shop. I was so excited. I fired it up, and sure enough, it dumped out 5 quarts of oil in 10 seconds. Everything is going great. I'm very happy with my new car purchase. We did some investigating. We found a baseball-sized hole in the block. So, naturally, that engine had to come out. In our last video, we pulled it. We pulled it out, but we kept all of the wiring. I'm not trying to go too crazy with this, so I wanted to make sure all of my headlights, taillights, all that stuff still works, and it does. I mean, we're going to go crazy. Don't get me wrong. We're going to do some wild stuff, probably turbocharge it. We're not going that crazy, though. This was obviously 10 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag, and it's been a fun build, and I love it more than anything in the world, but I did not want another 2,000-hour build on my hand. I took a vote to see what engine everybody wanted. Honda K24 won by a landslide, so that's what we bought. We also got a Nissan 6-speed transmission for it. Naturally, you can't just bolt a Nissan to a Honda motor, so I ordered this adapter. This thing took almost 6 weeks to get here, but we finally got it. We got a brand new clutch. I was going to say, yeah, there's more stuff in there. I got shocked for a minute, sorry. I also got an intake that I think is wrong, so we're probably going to end up cutting this up and having some fun with it. And some 3-inch lowering coils. I would like to get all of this installed in this video, but the main thing, I really want to get the engine and transmission in because I am very tired of it being in the corner of my shop. I've tripped on this thing like 10 different times. It's been a giant pain in the ass, so we're going to make some custom mounts. I bought some engine plates to go on the side of the engine. These are just like a generic motor mount. It didn't come with anything to come off of because obviously it's different for every engine, but these are like... Sorry, I dropped my camera there, my bad. So I bought these motor mount plates. This is like a 3/8-inch plate that bolts up. It doesn't have anything to come off of here because every engine mount could be different. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take some roll cage tubing, come off here, and then tie it into the frame of the Toyota. We have one other problem. This transmission is entirely too long as far as where the shifter goes. I think we can make it work. This is a very big transmission. A Honda S2000 transmission would have been a better option, but I couldn't really find one. These are built like tanks. These things will handle like 800 horsepower. So we have some issues with this being way too far back. The good news is these Nissans come in a bunch of different configurations, and you actually have a top loader shifter kit. So that'll save me literally over a foot if we end up putting our shifter here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off all this because I don't need this external shifter that sticks way out of the back. I want to do that. Then we can get the transmission bolted up to the engine with our clutch and all of our other goodies, and we'll try and figure out how the hell we can get this damn thing in here. Let's get going. This flywheel is giant. Obviously, it needs the space for the Nissan transmission, but the reason I say that is I am going to be putting Loctite on the bolts. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the video now to show that I'm doing it. So in a week, and for some odd reason I need to take this apart, I'm bitching and whining about how these bolts won't come out. At least we have it on video of what was going on. Wow, that is incredibly tight. Wow. They machined her to very tight tolerances. Holy crap. Can't even get the socket on. Son of a bitch. Well, we might have to grind the socket a little bit to tighten them up. Check this out. I got my adapter on. I got the flywheel on. Everything looks great. I got all this torque down. It's like 60 foot-pounds, which isn't even very heavy considering it's just a Honda. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. So, start to put the pressure plate on and all that. It comes with a little handy-dandy spacer. That way you can line everything up while you bolt this down. Stick the spacer on, and I go, wait, what's that? Snapped right off. So it looks like they didn't machine this shallow enough for the I don't know what you call it. It's the end of the crank. Look in there. You can see there's a lip, just barely. I mean, you can barely catch a fingernail on it, but it was enough. If this wasn't machined out enough to push it out, snap it. Also, I do not love how barely attached it is. I mean, there's just not much there. I would have thought that'd be a better design. So that sucks. And this whole setup took 5 weeks, I think, to get. So they're not great with responding to emails. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, their name just yet, because I'll see. Maybe they'll replace it. I probably sent 10 emails trying to figure out where this was. On their website, they guaranteed it in 7 days. 7 to 10 was the latest. Like I said, I waited 5 weeks. So, yeah, I'm not excited about that. The good news is, this motor was most likely going to come back out at some point anyway. And the main thing I wanted to do was get it in the car. And I got to do a bunch of fabrication work and stuff. I was still going to go ahead, obviously, put the shit together like it would be ready to run, but there was a good chance it was going to come out and tweak some stuff anyways, but that sucks. This obviously is not just, ooh, I should take those out before I lose them. Oh, no, okay, never mind. I put green Loctite on them, which is like a retaining compound. They might still come out. That's not a part I can just go get at Speedway or something like that. It, you know, is meant to work with this kit. So I'm going to have to just have them send me another flywheel. And hopefully they do a better job of machining it because I did everything by the book. I didn't do anything crazy. That sucks. Like I said, 60 foot-pounds isn't even that tight. So maybe they sent me the wrong bolts that didn't have like a shank in them for it to stop. I don't know. These bolts came with the kit. That is a fucking bummer. I mean, I could technically weld it, but we're not going to do anything until I get a response from the company. But that's okay. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. That is not the goal of this video. I wasn't going to get it started this video by any means. So, yeah, I'm going to cry for like 10, 15 minutes. And when I'm done crying and I compose myself, we're going to put the transmission on. But I need a minute.
2 hours later.
All right, I got the transmission on. I found another thing I don't love about it. The way it bolts in is kind of funky. They have no bolts on the other side. There's nothing that goes in here. So that's kind of crazy that it's only bolted on the top and then the other side. So yeah, I'm gonna ask them about that too. I can modify it. Like I can drill this out and then tap it maybe, but I don't love that. That's kind of wonky and there's no reason for it. You could have had a whole other tab out there to bolt into. Also, I just bought my first car model. Well, technically my second car model ever. My very first car was a 1957 Chevy that my grandpa gave me when I was 7. I ended up building that when I was 18. But my first car as a 16-year-old was a 1992 Honda Accord 2-door coupe. These are hard as hell to find in the 2-door coupes. You can find 4 doors all day. I have been looking for this car for probably a decade. Finally found one. Runs and drives, needs a radiator, and it's pretty freaking badass. Now, naturally, as a 16-year-old in 2005-ish, you know, whenever it was, I lowered it like 4 inches. We painted it Viper red because Dad used to have the body shop. Painted Viper red, had stickers and shit all over it because Fast and the Furious, you know, just that's the reason, because Fast and the Furious. I don't think we're gonna do all that on this one. I'm just super happy to have it back. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it. And what's crazy, before we painted it, mine was this emerald green. Same models, damn near the same miles. Really good looking car. I've always loved these, and the fact that it was my first car was just cool as shit. So I don't know what kind of hot rod shop we're running. Toyota Honda, you know, what the hell we got going on, but this is just kind of like a fun Casey project. I don't even know if that'll be on the channel. I'll probably throw a turbo on it, so maybe we'll have a little bit of stuff on the channel, but I don't know. That's just cool as shit to get. But this is bolted up. Obviously, there's no clutch. I'm gonna have to email them a very unhappy email. We're done crying about that. Let's just get to it. I'm gonna pop the hood off now. We're gonna see if we can't even get this thing in here. I will probably have to unbolt that cross member most likely. This is not the biggest car when it comes to the drive shaft tunnel, but let's see what the hell happens, baby. Tell you what, this is a hot rod channel, but I do love how light Japanese car parts are. That makes life easy. Let's take a look at this before we get too crazy. Oh yeah, oh it's tight. 100% gotta take cross member off. Ooh, we're gonna be cutting up some floor before the day's over. I would almost guarantee.
Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Motivate. You got dreams and I got dreams, so let us open up about it. Maybe we will fit right in. You got dreams and I got dreams, so let's start making plans.
This thing fits like a glove. I mean, we're gonna have to do a little bit of cutting on the hood to get the hood to shut, but other than that, it's ready to go. Let's send it to SEMA. It's the best. It's actually sitting there too. It's not on the it's not on the hoist. I'm gonna grab it up here and try and basically go in straight up and down, but 99% sure we're gonna be cutting the firewall very shortly. Let's see what happens. The good news is it is a hell of a lot closer than I thought. It wants to, it just can't get over that hump. The bad news is we're still cutting it. And I also might end up taking out this front support and then putting it back. It doesn't look like it comes off. I can't tell if it comes off or not. So we might end up cutting that too. I don't know. Let's, let's do what we do around here and cut some shit. Unfortunately, before I cut anything, I need to get the carpet out. And in reality, I should just pop the seats out now. If they're not too much of a pain in the ass, I'm just gonna do that while I'm at it. So yeah, let's cue the time lapse. Carpet should be ready to come out, I think. I spoke too soon. Oh! There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, stop fighting. Stop fighting! Oh, there we go. Ugh. We're gonna have to scrape some of this mat out, which sucks. This is bolted in? I didn't think it would be. I might be bolted in. I'm gonna probably take this radio out real quick too. Let's keep plugging along. Okay, we got everything cleaned out. It's time to cut our transmission tunnel, and I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna cut a giant hole because I already know I'm gonna have to piece it back together eventually. So I'm gonna try and do a good job of cutting it, and then the piece that comes out we can save. And then whenever we start putting it back together, we'll be able to use the piece we cut out, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna cut way down here and across here and then across. Basically, I'm gonna get it up as high as I can in there before I get into the air conditioner. I would love to not have to start modifying air conditioners and shit. So let's get to cutting.
Tick-tock, thumbs up, got my trust in you. This might seem typical, but for me it's new. I'm not desperate, I'm in need of you. Come here, show me.
Oops. I think we're loose. Yeah, well, no, maybe we're not. Oh, maybe we are. Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah. Found out the gas line all runs inside the drive shaft tunnel. I could have swore it was over on the floor rail, but hey, we're gonna upgrade some shit anyway. But that kind of sucks. All right, I'm gonna clean up my cut a little bit on the firewall, and we should be good to put her in there. Sweet. We are gonna pick this up tomorrow. This was a full day just to get to here. Damn it. Those are RX 7 seats that somebody made brackets fit the Toyota, and they actually did a really good job, but you could tell they welded them in. They welded them to the Toyota brackets, so a couple of the bolts, I had to get a wrench in there, and I mean, I was literally turning it that much at a time. Oh, it sucked, but they did a good job. I'll give them that. I'm going to probably cut all that off to reuse the Toyota mounts on my new seats. Drop this son of a bitch in there tomorrow. Sweet.
The next day.
We back, baby. I'm going to go in here before we can try and get this thing in anymore. I'm going to go in here and clean up all of that edge with a grinder because I had to do it with the Sawzall last night, and it's just not the prettiest cut. Also, I can kind of shave it a little bit higher in some spots, so we're going to do that real quick. Then we're going to see if we can't get this damn thing in. Let's go. All right, baby, let's see what happens. Boy, that steering rack is a bitch. Oh, come on, get off the steering. Get off the steering. Whoa. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, crap. Wait. It just doesn't want to go. All right, we're gonna go time lapse. Okay, she is hanging up on the cross member, the steering mostly, more than the cross member. I've had several different 86 guys tell me that they make spacers for the entire subframe. So like everybody with a custom engine has like a 1/2-inch spacer in their subframe. I thought I can kind of go around it because I'm so fucking smart and cool, and I'm an idiot. I should have just listened from the start. So I got the engine held up here. So it's off the subframe. We are gonna unbolt it, see if I can't slide this in there, and then put it back up in there with shims. So let's unbolt the subframe. Holy crap, what a pain in the ass. All right, let's go. All right, great news and not so great news. Great news is subframe pops out super easy. I have all the room in the world now to kind of figure stuff out. Bad news is or good news, depending on how you look at it. The company with the flywheel emailed me back, and the guy said, yeah, we actually just changed that design because we had another one break, and we made it a lot beefier. So pop it out, ship it back to me. I'm going to get one coming to you later today. So I should probably get the motor out. Now is obviously the time to do it because it's not completely in, but boy, we're close. We're right there. But we should probably go ahead and yank it real quick. Pop the flywheel off. Shouldn't be the end of the world. Naturally, I put a bunch of Loctite on the flywheel bolts because yesterday, as if karma wasn't real, I said, I'm going to put these on. And then I'm going to probably fucking hate if I take them off. Well, we got to take them off. So I'm going to do that real quick if it's not too much of a bit. He was basically cool if I didn't send it back for a while, but I mean, why wouldn't you just get it over with and ship it to him? So let's see. If it's going to be a giant pain in the ass taking this motor back out, I might not, but let's see what happens. Okay, got it out. Apparently it didn't have the camera running because, you know, I'm new to this YouTube thing. I've only been doing it like for 4 years now. Holy shit. Good news is I changed the angle that it was going in. It popped right out. It took like 30 seconds, but it would have been nice to see. Also, look how much I butchered the firewall from that hitting a couple times. So we're going to go ahead and cut that while the motor's out because now I can actually see what I'm cutting. Yeah. Okay. Let's pop this thing off. Also, as I'm doing this, I'm going, why didn't I leave the flywheel off anyway? Because I was just getting the adapter put on, but hindsight's 2020. I'm real stupid a lot of times. This is what happens when you work 100 hours a week. You just make kind of dumb mistakes. All right, let's pop this off. It was not super easy to get that transmission on, so it's going to be a bitch wiggling it on and off again, but this is the way to go because we need to send that thing back. So let's get going. Loctite was solid, but it came off. I'm gonna have to hammer this off now, I bet. Yeah! Yeah, I think. Now, I don't know, because I'm not a machinist, but I think this wasn't cut deep enough because look, the crank left a little groove there, so it just pushed that piece out. Also, that thing just wasn't attached by very much. I'm glad he changed the design because that's kind of wonky. All right, get this transmission back on. Ugh. Great news. That actually only took about 20 minutes to pop off, so that makes me very happy. I'm going to come in here, trim up this firewall a little bit. It looks like it's been abused would be the word. And then we'll come back in here. Definitely should have dropped this subframe to begin with. That was so freaking easy. It's like 6 bolts, plopped right out. And what I'll probably do while it's out is go ahead and throw our lowering coils in because it's right there. So we might do that, but obviously we're going to focus on the engine first. I don't know. I might get it back up in there, bolt it, and then do the coilovers. I'm not sure. We'll play it by ear. But yeah, let's clean this shit up. All right, I got the motor sitting in there. It's too high right now because I got it on jack stands and it's still obviously on the hoist. But I started to put the subframe back in there and it looks like we're gonna have to space it. And these bolts are not nearly long enough. So I'm gonna run to the hardware store. Hopefully they're still open, because naturally it's 8 p.m. And I need these about at least an inch longer. 2 inch longer would be better. And then we can bolt that thing up and kind of start getting this motor sitting in there somehow. Also, very happy with how this transmission's sitting. It is not nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. We completely overcut our hole, but we knew that going in, so that's fine. And also, I might actually be able to use the stock shifter where it's long. We're gonna have to shorten it, obviously, but if I can get it kind of right there and then just make it bend up a little bit, that could maybe work. And then we don't have to figure out our top loader. Top loader would still work though, I don't know. We're gonna see. Obviously it's not in where it's gonna be yet. So let's go get some bolts and see what we can come up with. So the only bolts I could find at the hardware store were carriage bolts, and they are extremely too long. They either had these in 5 inches, which is what the stock bolts are, or 10 inches. So we are going to be cutting off a lot of this, and I didn't really have a proper spacer that I wanted. So I'm going to be ordering some more hardware, but this is definitely going to work for now. So let's see if we can get this damn thing bolted in and finally start making these damn motor mounts. Okay. I think I got it sitting on jack stands where I can get this hoist out of my way, but I'm not sure. Let's find out together. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh no, it's moving. Wait, it's not moving! Yes! Okay. All right. Now the problem is, I had to modify the cross member. I really didn't like how much spacing I had to put in the subframe to get it to fit. It was going to end up being like this. I mean, it's going to be 1.5 inches of spacing. That's crazy. I don't want this thing riding like a gasser. We're going to cut the subframe. The good news is the way I cut it, I just cut a sliver out, so everything is still pretty structurally sound. So we can bolt all of that shit up, and then we can make our mounts. I might make the mount straight over to the frame, honestly, and not tie it into the subframe. That might be better. Let me show you what I'm looking at. That would probably help. I guess, you know, I should show you as I look. So we take these out, we put our normal bolts there. I can put a giant piece of angle iron there and then just go straight to my mount. Ooh, same thing here. Giant piece of angle iron straight to the mount. That might be the way to go. I got the transmission sitting perfect. I'm not gonna have to modify the whole tunnel, which is one thing I was worried about. Cool. And the only thing we got to do is I got to figure out how K24 sits in a car. I know that sounds funny, but normally they have a lean to them. So this whole thing might need to go that way a little bit. I'm going to find that out, obviously, before I make my mounts. But I am done for today. My ass is dragging. And tomorrow we're going to come in and get the subframe bolted up the rest of the way and make some motor mounts, some transmission mounts, and then we're going to be done. This has been an ungodly amount of work, and it shouldn't be, but here we are. We're like 20 hours in already. I was like, oh, you know, we don't want to get too I don't want to get too involved, and then here we are going to make a subframe from scratch probably in a week or two. So Caseyscustoms, it's what we do.
The next day.
We are back at it, baby. We got the rest of tonight to get this video done and sent to Richard, the video editor, or he's going to start whining like a little baby. He's a cop, so he's like, oh, well, you know, I work so late. I got to eat all these donuts, and I got to pull over people, you know, for doing 3 miles an hour of a speed limit. Actually, he's a cop in Kansas City, so I think he's actually dealing with a lot of serious shit a lot of the time. But anyways, we still got to make fun of him, obviously. So since I have made a relief cut in the subframe, I actually don't need these giant spacers anymore. I'm going to put the stock bolts back in. I want to get all of the subframe bolted up because right now it's just hanging. We are not going to try and do the springs this video. I don't think I'm going to have the time, which is fine. But I want to get this all done so we can start making some motor mounts. So let's get to it, baby. Okay. I got the Nissan cross member trans mount bolted in. Obviously, we're going to have to make some mounts coming off of it. I have the stock Toyota cross member somewhere that I want to join it to, but I can't find it right now, which is fun. But I got all this prepped. This is bare metal. This is bare metal. I was originally going to bring this over to the frame, but after seeing how easy it was to drop the subframe, I'm going to tie it straight into the subframe, and then we'll be able to unbolt the engine real easy, and if we need to, it's like 6 bolts. You just drop the whole subframe out and it'd be a lot easier to get everything out. So that's the plan. We're just gonna come straight over. Doesn't need to be too crazy. I think I'm gonna use some DOM roll cage tubing I have left over from the CRX. Let's get to fabbing. I really wanna get this thing on the ground and, you know, not, because right now it's held up with jack stands, a ratchet strap, and a couple other things. I really wanna get it sitting on its own wheels. So let's get cutting. Look at this weird little mount. It's gonna work out perfect though. Don't get much stronger than that. Get a full weld all the way around there and then a freaking 8-inch weld, 7-inch weld all the way across the bottom. Cool, I'm gonna tack that and start on the driver's side. Motor mounts are done. They came out pretty slick, if I do say so myself. We still got some more welding to do, obviously, but that came out 10 times better than I thought it was going to. Also, the original plan of running like angle iron from up there, that would have been real hacky looking. I kind of like how those came out. Not too bad at all. Now we got to figure out how to... Oh, shit. Just about busted my ass on the old weld lead there, but I am as graceful as a damn gazelle. Shit. Tripped on a brake clean can. Okay, everything's fine. We got to figure out how to mount our transmission now. Everything is sitting in there square, and my angles are right, but that can all change whenever you start in here with the mount. You can see I have the original Nissan under there right now. I need to find the Toyota one that I took out, and then we can kind of join those two together. So hopefully I can find that. If not, it's not going to be the end of the world to take some of this 2x4 rectangular tubing. This shit is way too heavy duty for this car, but I can tie it into those and then it would bolt in, be kind of easy. But let's see if we can't find the other one first. All right, I've cut down the Nissan mount. My stock mount isn't even close. It's like 8 inches forward. So I cut this off, and then I made a notch here, so my square tubing will sit right there on it. We'll get a big giant weld all the way across it, and then the square tubing is going to go out to some bolts I have run through the frame. So let's get to getting. Also, you can't see shit under there, so you just have to take my word for it. You can't see under there, but just know I am struggling for my life with this damn thing. Transmission is in. I have a piece of that 2x4 square tubing, rectangular tubing, my bad, that goes all the way across from both frame rails. Got it bolted in. And I think my angle is perfect where it's at, but what I can do, if it's too high, is I can actually notch this. This is the Nissan. I can notch and sink it down. You know, if I needed to, I could sink it down 2 full inches. It shouldn't need to come down that much at all, because that's my drive shaft. So I think we're good. Motor mounts are done, trans mounts are done. Let's let this baby off the jack stand and see what the hell happens. Moment of truth. I have a lady that cleans my shop about once a week. When she comes in tomorrow, she is 100% going to yell at me. It is a shit show in here. There's still gear oil everywhere from the transmission. Yes! She is K24 SWAT. Hell yeah, man. Still gotta make mounts for the steering rack. I just got it zip tied in there right now, but it actually still bolted up. Whoa. Wow. Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm gonna clean some of the shit off of it, put the hood on, and then we'll lift the hood, because you always gotta be dramatic, you know, in your YouTube videos. Also, if anybody is interested in watching me cut the living hell out of a brand new intake. Go check my second channel, because I'm getting ready to do that right now. This was super cheap. I got this thing for like, I think $60 or something. And obviously it's wrong. These are for when they're still in the car sideways. Sit there for 2 seconds. And my intake would be hitting my firewall. So they make one spun the other way that comes out front. The ones I've seen that go the other way are like $500 or $600. So before I have to buy one of those, I'm gonna take this super cheapy guy, cut it right across there, and spin the intake, because I think all these runners will match up if I just spin them around the other way. The good news is I am a great aluminum welder. That's a lie. I am a horrible aluminum welder. So we're going to kind of have some fun and experiment and see what the hell happens. So go check the second channel if you want to watch that. But let's get the hood on the old girl real quick. Check it out. This is what we've been working for. Oh, that makes me happy. That looks cool as shit. Wait till she's got a big old turbo sticking out right there. And we got a real cool intake on that side. Awesome. Holy crap, man. So many hours in this video. I probably put in at least 50 hours in the last 3 days. That was not nearly as easy as I thought it was going to be. It was still easier than putting like an LS in it like we were talking originally. That's damn near impossible. I see why the guys that I've seen do like a V8 in these, they essentially just make a frame from scratch, kind of like I had to do with the CRX. And I did not want to go that crazy. So very happy, very tired. I am so happy to have the Honda put in there. I mean, it was just way more of a pain in the ass than I thought it was going to be. I've probably said this 10 times. I probably said it a couple times in this video. The reason we went with a K24 Honda motor is because I took a vote on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and it just won by a landslide. So that's why we're going with that. I ended up going with a beefier transmission than a lot of guys go with it. Jimmy Oaks, if you don't follow him, he has a K24 86. And he told me right off the bat, he was like, you got to find an S2000. That transmission's huge. And naturally, I should have listened, but I'm dumb. Why would you listen to somebody that's done it a bunch of times and, you know, has a lot of really high quality drift cars? That's crazy. Why would you do that? He was definitely right. The good news is my specialty is fabrication and stuff, so I don't have a biggest problem as a lot of guys is making a drive shaft tunnel from scratch. It's just a lot of extra work, but very happy. Those transmissions will handle so much horsepower. However crazy we want to go with this build, I don't know, but that transmission will handle it. We don't need to go out and buy like a $5,000 built transmission. That guy will handle anything that Honda's going to put out. So very excited to do that. I was devastated when my flywheel broke and I was about to just start flaming the company, but I sent him an email. He got back with me within like an hour and was like, sending you another one. We've kind of redesigned it. So that was super cool, but it was devastating at the time. I'm not going to lie to you. I was pissed. Didn't know what I was going to do, but I kind of like that he stood behind it and he was shipping me one out basically instantly. So whenever that comes in, this is all going to come back out anyway, because to weld up your motor mounts, you can't really get them fully welded with the motor in there. You just, you know, it's hard. So all that stuff's going to come out and get rewelded eventually anyway. So we will put our clutch in and all that good stuff whenever that shows up. So if you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. We are getting so close to 200K. We should be there in the next couple weeks. Maybe sooner if you hit the button. What are you doing? For the coolest merchandise on the planet, go to Caseyscustoms.com. We have a bunch of new designs coming any day now. As soon as they show up, I'll put them on the website. I ordered them a month ago. That's a different story. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they tell you at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace. I love you.